Hello everyone, Alzion the Great here, and welcome back to the Texas Rangers franchise on MLB The Show 22, and we'll be 23 obviously, about 3 weeks away. I'm going to try and speed this up as we're going to get to the end of the season today, as we might be in contention for the #1 pick next year. The Orioles are the only team in the American League anyway that is worse than us, as, yeah, we're just going to try and end this game, or this, season today. Gonna go through one game, the final home game, whenever we get to that point. Just give a brief stat update to some of the players. Obviously, Yohel Pozo made his debut, went hitless, unfortunately. Obviously, he is supposed to be the catcher that we, that does hit pretty well. Or, I guess hits actually above average. I don't even need him to hit 300. I just need him to hit like 250, and I'll be happy. But let's go ahead and get on to the simming. As we run into a rare problem, I've never had 94 players on my roster, like, ever. And I've actually tried to have to sim through, so we just release one of our lower level relief pitchers. As we continue simming just pretty quickly here, Nick Tropiano comes off the injured list, so he is back in the pitching rotation once again. He's in the bullpen, I should say. As then, Jose Trevino fractures his shin. Now, he's a 29-year-old catcher who we're probably not going to re-sign after this season, but if he was going to make a case, you know, with a decent contract, I would actually like to bring him back, as he'll now be out for the rest of the season. And the playoffs, assuming our AAA or AA team makes it. Here we have a couple lineup changes. I still didn't realize Nathaniel Lau was at third base and could not play third base, so he's still there. We're still screwed up in that department. But yeah, wanted to give a couple people some more at bats. Yohel Pozo, get Cole Calhoun in the lineup too. Also Blaine Krim, Tyler Black. Just seeing a few of our better of other prospects. Josh Young is also there, as we're obviously heading towards September. Wondering if we should call up Josh Young. He is hitting pretty darn solid, but I don't really think now is the right time to call him up. There was Willie Calhoun sitting there. He's been on the team for a lot of years, and he's 27. Also saw Jake Marisnik. You know, just looking at players to consider calling up for the for September call-ups, and I usually decide this a few days before. I just stop and look at the roster, as we're going to promote Dan Winkler to the starting MLB team. Jesus Christ, I don't know what's going on, but yeah, promote him to the MLB team, so he is now in the rotation, in the bullpen, I should say. And Willie Calhoun also gets promoted. I believe he called up Bubba Thompson here to AAA. And he's also a guy I haven't really talked about, but he is a pretty solid prospect. Maybe he will help us in the future, as now we're simming through the rest of September, and we're here on the 25th of September, one day before my birthday, as we're heading into the game against the Cleveland Guardians for the final home game of the season. As hoping to end out with some positivity at home, but it's been pretty much the same thing as the Angels game, the Angels series we watched a couple of days ago. Obviously, offense is hitting really well, and their pitching is not allowing many runs. Cleveland right now leads 2-0 in the final game, as we have Nick Tropiano on the mound, not having a good year by MLB standards, but by the team standards, he's actually one of our better pitchers, which is very bad considering, you know, the 4 ERA, 1.41 WHIP, and we were just hoping to see, some positives, as opening against Miles Straw, still got the quick counts on, so that splitter low is fouled off. But yeah, I don't really entirely know who's going to be on this team next year. I have a very as I'd like to call it, radical way of changing the teams in this game, or the off seasons in this game, especially the first 2 seasons. That's generally where all the changes come through, as Miles Straw strikes out there. Good start for Tropiano. But yeah, I have no idea if Nick Tropiano, even maybe even John Gray, although he's obviously on a long-term contract. I don't know if he's going to be on the team. I just have no clue, because the way I do things is another strikeout from Tropiano with the second out of the inning. The way I do things is just completely getting rid of every bad contract and every player I don't feel useful here. As Tropiano is just having a really good start. He's gotten some decent counts. He's already got 2 strikeouts. And then Jose Ramirez fouls off a changeup. He would foul off the next 4 pitches, I believe. And then on the 16th pitch of the inning, it's a ball, finally, a different pitch. Then 2-2. It'll be a swing and a drive deep to left center field. And off the wall, almost a home run, as that would be a triple for Jose Ramirez. So, good start, but running into some trouble here is Tropiano. Now he's up to 20 pitches with the 2-2 count to Ahmed Rosario, hitting near 300 to end the season, as Tropiano gets him to fly out to right field to end that first inning. So, besides the pitch count, it was an overall solid first inning for Tropiano. Aaron Savali is on the mound. He's having a pretty darn good year for Cleveland. 3.32 ERA, close to 1 WHIP, a lot of strikeouts. Not really in contention for a Cy Young. I mean, maybe, but I don't really look at the Cy Young awards a bunch, or any awards really, until the end of the season. And we will go through that today, obviously, as Andy Ibanez leads us off. Not sure if he's going to be on the team next season. If he, it's all about contract demand. I have a very specific view on contracts as Ibanez strikes out there. As Savali trying to mirror Tropiano as he gets Culberson to dribble a ball in front of home plate, and he takes care of it for out number 2. As one of our only bright spots this season, All-Star Corey Seager hitting over 300. He will ground up the middle for what would be a base hit, but the shift in effect, obviously that will be banned, well, banned slightly. As we get into this next inning, Tropiano walked 2 to get on first and second, and then he has a 3-1 count to Will Benson. As Tropiano running into some trouble here in the second inning, has been the norm, I guess, for Texas, as Benson fouls it off. As Benson, one of the September call-ups for Cleveland, does not have a hit yet. He will not get it here, but he will walk, loading the bases for Leonardo Rivas, as it's going downhill quite quickly for Tropiano, trying to avoid a 4th straight walk, as it'll be a foul ball down the third base side, and on the 1-2 count gets the strikeout. So there's 1. Double play is now in effect, as Tropiano's got his 3rd, and then the 9-hitting catcher Luke Maley drives the ball right down the middle, out of the park, grand slam for his first home run of the season. And needless to say, after that, I was not very interested in watching the rest of the game, even to see some of the hitters. As, did not want to watch after that. Seeing their catcher hit his first home run of the season on a just meatball pitch, almost 400 feet. And what turned out to be potentially a good game for Tropiano turned into a terrible one, although we only lost 4-2. So we didn't give up any more runs to that point. But that would be the last game we watched. Here I looked at Nathaniel Lau. I was just wondering what was going on with him. And I still didn't realize that he had that he couldn't play third base. Luckily, that issue will be fixed if Lowe's on the team next year. But the Rangers finished the season 64-98. Obviously not good enough to make the postseason, as the regular season has come to an end. Looking at some stats here, Corey Seager led the team in hits and home runs, but not RBIs. That goes to Marcus Semien. Stolen bases, Andy Ibanez actually led with 10. As the highest average, Nathaniel Lau, despite not being able to play third, he knows how to hit. But yeah, a lot of our guys sub 250. That is not going to win any games at all. We only had like 5 guys, I think, 250 or up, and that is abysmal. But pretty much besides Corey Seager and a little bit of Marcus Semien, nobody really shocked anything. Solak hit 6 triples. Very happy about that. But yeah, it's just, as far as hitting goes, we got 2 guys to build around with Seager and Semien. But I have no idea really who's going to be on this team. We just have to see what free agency gives us, obviously. I've never used Texas budget before, so I'm not entirely sure what the budget would be. But ideally, we're going to go after some older free agents, you know, just try and get through the next season, not necessarily looking to compete too much next year, but looking to find players for the future. As Corey Seager led us in WAR, beside Marcus Semien, nobody else had above 2.5. So you can see that we need some help. Corey Seager led in ISO, by the way, which is more of a power stat, so you can see all the more advanced metrics here. Average versus righties, Nathaniel Lau had a 329, which is amazing. Yohel Pozo just did not do good, by the way, only a 173 average to end his season, but he's definitely going to be up here next season. Probably going to be the starting catcher. Not necessarily because I don't believe I can find somebody, but because I want him to develop. As we go to some pitchers here, Kohei Arihara leads us with 10 wins. Dane Dooning with 16 losses. We had 3 guys in double-digit losses. Lowest pitcher in terms of losses was actually Nick Tropiano. Joe Barlow, only 29 saves and 9 blown saves. I doubt he'll be our closer next season, but I don't really see the point in him not being on the team next season, unless he's demanding an egregiously big contract. I mean, 26-year-old with the potential is pretty solid. Most strikeouts was Dane Dooning and Kohei Arihara. They tied. The lowest ERA of a relief pitcher was actually pretty good. Starting pitcher was Kohei Arihara at 3.84. That is atrocious to be our lowest. Generally, that's the highest I would like to allow, is that number. So we're obviously gonna redo the pitching, and I think finding position players is a lot easier in free agency as opposed to pitchers, just because the big ones usually get qualifying offers, and you don't usually want to sign that, as we only had 2 pitchers above 2 WAR, and it was just not really good at all, as you know, as it was. As we look at some of the awards here, first the National League, just to see who won that. O'Neal Cruz wins Rookie of the Year for the Pirates. Good for him. Freddie Freeman, I believe, took home the NL MVP, as well as the Hank Aaron. As you get through the Useless Award, which is the Gold Glove Award, and the more exciting one, the Silver Slugger. And when I say useless, I don't mean that getting a Gold Glove doesn't mean anything. I mean that I don't really put much value into being a good fielder, because it's a scoring kind of game. Kyle Tucker wins AL MVP of our division rival, the Houston Astros. He's having a amazing season. He won't be on the free agency list for a little bit, as Noah Syndergaard won the Cy Young. Luis Arias wins the batting title, as Emmanuel Clase wins Reliever of the Year. Torkelson wins Rookie of the Year. Generally, yeah, he does that. Torkelson usually develops really well in this series. Trout wins the Hank Aaron. As we get through once again the Useless Awards, Marcus Semien wins a Gold Glove. So good for him, but I want you to hit better. I don't need you to field. I need you to hit. As we get looking through the Silver Sluggers, no Silver Slugger for Corey Seager, unfortunately. Last year it was Astros and Braves, with the Braves taking the World Series. But obviously we're not in the playoffs. I don't know if I'm going to chronicle the playoffs yet, or what you guys want to see. Jack Leiter obviously is in AAA, and the AAA playoffs are there against the Tacoma Rainers. The Rough Riders did make plays, but they're already in their series with their opponent. So I don't know if I'm going to do that. We'll kind of see when we get there. But I believe that's going to be all for this episode. So let me know if you guys want to see the AAA playoffs or the World Series title race. But thank you all for watching. My name is Alexander the Great, and I will see you all next time.